listening to the Ocean Rowing Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Painter, physical therapist and owner of Strong and Empowered Rowing. I help people continue their love of rowing without aches and pains. Along the way, I decided I wanted to row across the Atlantic Ocean. I'm finding it super hard to get in touch with previous ocean rowers and find the answers on how to make this possible. So this podcast is to share my story and what I learn as I get ready for and ultimately cross the Atlantic Ocean. Hear from experts in different areas and from others who have completed ocean rows. So anyone who wants to do this has easy access and we can share our stories with the world. All right, welcome to the Ocean Rowing Podcast. This is episode number 28, coming out on May 7th and being recorded on my birthday, May 6th. So, I just wanted to come on, and this is going to be a tiny bit of a longer episode, give you a small update on where I'm at, some exciting news. Next week, I am actually having surgery for my eyes so that I don't need contacts anymore, which is really exciting. It's something that I've been looking for a long time, but always been uncertain because my eyes kept changing if I could do it. Turns out I don't qualify for LASIK, but I can do the PRK, which is basically like before they started doing LASIK, what they used to do. The recovery time is a little bit longer, so I might be out of commission, but I'm recording these hopefully so that nothing will get sidetracked on the podcast side of things. But yeah, so I'm excited for that. A little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie, mostly because I'm just scared of the recovery. There's a couple days where they say, your eyes just hurt and you just want to sleep. So I'm anticipating sleeping a lot. I've got a lot of other podcasts that I've downloaded and a lot of audiobooks. So I'm ready to not really see things for a little bit. So that's what I'm up to. The other thing is I have been basically talking to a lot of people in quarantine. COVID has made it very easy for me to chat with people, which is fantastic. So I've already chatted with some people. I've already talked with Gwyn Batten, who's coming up on May 21st, Rachel Smith on June 18th, and Mike, the Atlantic Grappler, on July 23rd. But looking for more so that we can get a nice head start. Oh, nope, I even have another. I even chatted with Elaine Hopley, who's coming out on August 20th. So I'm really excited. We've got some great guests coming up for you guys. One of those is so Mike, the Atlantic Grappler, is a future ocean rower, so you're going to get a nice perspective that isn't just from me starting out. I always like doing some of those episodes, and we'll follow him just like we are for Pete Rhodes, and give you an update. Oh, and I'll probably give you an update on Pete. He's decided to push his crossing back a little bit, and still waiting on a date for that, but I'll keep you guys posted if you want to reach out to him. And then, so I'm excited to talk with more people. And I've gotten amazing things from a group of women ocean rowers, or some women. And Rachel Smith has been chatting with me and giving me a lot of putting things in that group and just sharing a lot of things in respect to kind of how do you get started? What kind of paperwork do you need to kind of be able to send that out to people for fundraising, and things like that? So I'm really excited. I actually haven't had the chance to really look at them yet, but I'm going to. And she shared something that Angela, who's another ocean rower, actually kind of shared, and I got permission to share that with you guys. So I wanted to share that a little bit. So some of the information that we're gonna share and feedback, just kind of advice almost, for references is, one, get a website. So I've had numerous people talk about it lately, but need to have a website so that you can just send people to one spot. After talking to Mike, he just launched his, which is super exciting and looks amazing. You should check it out at theatlanticgrappler.com. For some reason, I like saying grappler, so thanks for that name, Mike. So that's one of the big things. Make sure that you have your website, and that it means that it's nice and clear. I actually build websites, so I'm kind of I'm excited to take the time to actually do this when I can see again. But make sure that the project has a website and that it's easy for sponsors as well as donators. Next is have a logo. And making sure that your logo, kind of like branding, that it is very clear and concise and that it gets your point across. So whether you combine your brand and logo with your charity or you have them separate, make sure that it doesn't confuse people and that it's very clear. So maybe if you need a branding person, I'm not sure yet, but that's something to kind of consider because you definitely don't want people to be confused when they look at your stuff. They want to know what they're giving to, who they're supporting, and things like that. Next is you need a PR plan. So having a PR plan, a media list, and media evaluations. And I need to look more into this, but basically a plan on how to target the media and a list of who you're going to send press releases and updates to. And after talking to people recently, I believe Rachel was one of them. A big one was when you start to say like, hey, I'm going to do this, make sure that you do it. Treat this like a business. And a lot of people on the podcast have already said this, but treat this like a business, which means you can't be flaky. If you're flaky, people don't want to give you money. So you've got to make sure that you are on point, you know what you're doing, and that you're very clear and concise in presenting that to people. And yeah, so that is part of the advice, which is fantastic. There's a part in here about evaluations. I'm going to have to touch on that again later because it's the morning and I'm still waking up like I am when I do all of these podcasts. But yeah, so if you're putting out a plan, if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to send you newsletters on this date once a month or whatever, make sure you do it. So follow through with what you say you're going to do. Next is kind of understanding your budget and your costs and your fundraising targets, just putting that in all one place. And if you're going to make a charity and you're going to give to charity, make sure that you've got those fundraising ideas that are appropriate for that charity and that you can deliver it. So again, like treat it like a business. You need to do what you say you're going to do. I've talked to quite a few different people on different ways that they've done charity. There's people who have just had people, okay, you're donating to charity. Okay, you're donating to the crossing. There's people who sign agreements that do like a 50-50 split or a 60-40 split where 60% goes to one, 40% goes to the other. Just having that clear and making sure that the money goes where you say it's going to go. So just be respectful and like a normal human being. Don't take funds if they're not yours. If people are giving to something, make sure that they know what they're giving to because that's what they're giving to. And otherwise, you're going to lose that sponsorship and you're going to lose them. So definitely understanding where that money is going. Another one is setting up an email. Make sure you've got an email for like reaching out for everything related to the crossing, for press releases and things, for inquiries. Make sure you have an email that is for this, and that makes you just a little bit more official. So definitely do that as well. Then she also listed some kind of pages like First Giving, Just Giving, and things like that. GoFundMe, I think crowdfund's another one. Things like that can be really helpful in setting stuff up. Social media can be your friend, so don't shy away from social media. Use it. You never know who is going to want to give money to help. Then you can have things that you want to sell, understanding where that money, again, deciding where that money is going to beforehand. And in terms of sponsorship, making sure that you're putting things together. So I think I talked about earlier, just, hey, treat it like a business, update the website, put people's names as they sponsor if they give you permission to at certain times. If you're sending out postcards, make sure you're sending those out. People are going to be giving you emails. You need something to kind of work on that. I actually already have this for my business. So as I figure this out for this, I'll go ahead and share what I end up doing with you guys. Newsletters can be a great way to keep people informed on what you're doing and how things are changing or if things shift. And just making sure that you're delivering. So what you say you're going to deliver. Also, making sure that you have, this is a big one and took me a second to understand. I actually had to ask for assistance. But making sure that the things that you're offering for the sponsorship packages, that are, if they're different from your standard packages, basically making people feel like they're actually getting something, and that they understand what they are getting. So when you're sending things out, don't be like, hey, this is what you're going to get, and then go offer that for a lower price to somebody else, because that's just not cool. Get photos from you. Photo from the ocean just for you. You can do that as an option. Like $100, you get me pictured. You get a picture of you on the boat or things like that. And yeah, just having different kind of ideas for that fundraising and ways that you can actually spread that. So those were some great things that Rachel shared with me recently, which I really appreciate. So thank you, Rachel. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a longer update episode. I'm sorry, but I hope that some of you future ocean rowers found this informative and helpful. I'm going to just be listening to people's stories and find other podcasts where ocean rowers have come and chatted with people, and just start listening to those while I can't see for a little bit. But don't worry, the next episode's going to be Gwen Batten, and I already told you when it's coming out, on May 21st, so stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button if you liked it, and I hope you guys have an amazing day.